A very good afternoon, Team Zimbabwe, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. We continue to take a look on what's happening in the nation Zimbabwe. The government of the Republic of Zimbabwe has announced that they are now preparing or planning to disburse funds for compensating white farmers who were illegally displaced from their previous farms. This is a very controversial issue when it comes to the issues of politics, because for all these years we have been told that it's the opposition who want to compensate white farmers, it's the opposition who want to return land back to white farmers. But that was not true. Morgan Tsvangirai, when he started, said, let us redistribute land such that the people of Zimbabwe benefit from it. But let us do it legally. So ZANU PF itself, then, they felt that Morgan Tsvangirai was now resonating with the masses who wanted land. And they did it haphazardly without planning properly. And then the problem is that when they hijacked those farms, they ended up even looting properties which belonged to white farmers and other people. Remember, there are other people who came during the colonial era. There are other farmers who came after the colonial period. They came legally on those places, which means even though they had no title to land, but they had rights over their own properties. So we know that the British, they renegated on their part in terms of buyout, whatever, but how it was done wrongly. These are the issues which were raised by Morgan Tsvangirai and said, since we have failed to honor the agreement of the Lancaster House Conference agreement, let us amend the constitution. That was the point of Morgan Tsvangirai. Then Tim Iraga Barata fast track. The reason why vakaita fast track is because, number one, vaida kutora minda ivo vega. Number two, vaida kuti kana minda iyo yatorwa voishandisa as political tools. Number three, vaida kutora advantage yemaproperties akanga ari pamafarms ipapo. Ndokubva tapinda tiri pajambanja. Up to this day, these are the people who have benefited from the properties dzavakabira varungu, from dzimba dzavakatorera varungu. Ndo vari kugara producing nothing except for a few. Vamwe vacho ndo vakutorendesa back mafamu iwayo kuvarungu vachipiwa mari annually. So the report says the government of Zimbabwe has announced its plans to initiate the disbursement of funds next month for the purpose of compensating white former commercial farmers who were affected by the land reform program implemented at the turn of the millennium. And this significant development is a pivotal component of the country's arrears clearance plan, representing a crucial step towards addressing historical grievances and promoting national reconciliation. The announcement was made by the Swiss ambassador to Zimbabwe, Zambia, and Malawi, Stéphane Rey, during the recent Swaziland National Day. And Ambassador Rey expressed his appreciation for the government's efforts to address the issue of compensation for Swiss and other European farmers impacted by the land reform program. He emphasized that this initiative is not solely about financial settlement, rather it symbolizes a significant milestone in the journey towards reconciliation and progress. According to Ambassador Rey, the initial disbursements are scheduled to commence next month. Notably, a total of 27 Swiss farms have been directly impacted by the land reform program. Of these, 17 have already been validated and approved for compensation, while the remaining 10 are set to undergo examination by the conclusion of this week. This meticulous approach underscores the government's commitment to ensuring a fair and just process for all affected parties. Zimbabwe area clearances and debt resolution strategies underpinned by a commitment to pay 3.5 billion to former farm owners. This includes compensating individuals who lost their farms despite being protected under the bilateral investment promotion and protection agreement, as well as implementing comprehensive economic and governance reforms aimed at fostering sustainable development and inclusive growth. So this is what is happening, and these are the reports which we have at this point in time. If you look at this, you would see that this is politics at play. Yes, for ZANU PF, top echelons, it's good, but for the people within ZANU PF, they are angry. Things are not well. If you go to the corridors, guys, things are not well. People are angry 100% because they're saying, azvigone zvamuri kutiitisa kuti munobhadhara vanhu muchishandisa mari yenyika, imi murimi makaluta maproperties evanhu ivavo. The people who looted these properties are known. They are still alive, the majority of them. They are still alive, and they are settled at those farms. But who is paying? It's you, it's me. We are going to pay this 3.5 billion. And somebody seated at the HQ of ZANU PF is benefiting from the equipment which they looted. You know, this is the reason why you are seeing all these problems and troubles. Isu tiri kuti issue yeminda haifaniri kuva partisan. Haifaniri kuva vari muhurumende unoridiko prazi iwe politician usingagoni kurima. Why can't you subdivide these farms? After you subdivide them, you give anonzi competence list to farmers vari kuda kurima. For example, isisu tiri kuda kutorima isu. Trutoda that land. Give us that land so that we can do our farming. The government does not want. Imagine for young people who are unemployed and vari kuswera vachitenderera mutauni umo vachichinja mari vamwe vachita seise. Imagine if we are given 10 hectares each. Toenda tonorima donje, tonorima gorosi, torima chibage, torima fodya. Imagine, guys, what we are going to build. We are going to have massive development. As young people, as a country, we are going to make sure that we have enough food and we have enough for exports. That is how a government should operate. That is what we must be doing. But these people who are in leadership at this point in time, they are underutilizing these farms. Anongorima 2 hectares, dzimwe 500 hectares dzakangogara dzakadaro. Olisa dzimwe kana kuti 50 hectares kumwe kwese kogara kwakadaro. And our country is in constant hunger each and every time. Whilst we have land, whilst we have good temperatures, most of the times we have better temperatures, except for just a few years, like for example, last year, we had challenges of El Nino. But imagine if we had irrigation mechanisms in place, we could use those mechanisms to do irrigation and everything will be fine. We are saying, if you offer a competent list, you are giving conditions that so and so must produce up to this level. Failure to do so for 2 or 3 seasons, then we take it over the farm. Toripa kuna umwe munhu are capable. Iwewe ma properties nkala uti infrastructure yaongo waisa, that person will repay you slowly achibatirwa mari achikudi achita repay pawakavaka. Umwe munhu akutorima tichienda kumberi. Ukafa haugoni kunovigwa pafamu ipapo because it's not yours. You are leasing. Wakangofanana nemunhu ari kuroja. Ani muri kuzviona. Wakangofanana nemunhu ari kuroja. That is what we were supposed to be using. Then we have areas dzatine tichiti idzi ndedze resettlement kwekuti munhu hatorina kwekutogara zvachose woenda kunogara ikoko. We must have commercial farms which are specifically for food security and economic growth. Then we have anonzi ma-resettlements. But ma-resettlements waya hafaniri kungova ma-resettlements. If you want an area to resettle wakangogara hako usina zvimwe zvauri kuita, you go kuma-peri-urban areas. If you want a settlement yekuti wakatogara uri paruzevha uchita ma-projects ako, woenda kuma semi-commercial areas. Kwatine tichiti uku ndepako but uchita production uri ipapo. Yes, you then work nemasabhuku to make sure that there is development, number one. Number two, there is production at those places. This is a simple policy which just needs implementation, but it will never be implemented because the kind of leaders which we have do not prioritize these things. What they think about is toita sei kuti tinge tine land. So the major question is, vachawirirana kusvika rini muzanu PF mavo? Because the 3.5 billion, how did they arrive at 3.5 billion? If you go to Tokwe Mkosi people were displaced. How much were they given? Peanuts. They couldn't even build their homes. Vazhinji vacho vakapiwa 1 hectare piece of land. They don't even care the size of family which you have. They don't even care kuti ucharima kupi uchaita sei. Hapana mvura irrigation, kungopinda utogara ipapo. This is the kind of government which we have. And at this point in time, they are now seeing the problems of doing things improperly. You know, chinhu chese chamunoita zvisina kurongeka, it will come back to bite. Because land reform program, yes, it was necessary, but how? That is, the how part is very important. This was supposed to be an issue of agreeing on how to do it, and it is done legally and constitutionally. Izvozvo zvaisazokonzeresa maproblems esati now. Because white farmer aingodzwa shamari, isusu we are now repossessing land according to this law. But since taakudaro, iwewe taakuchikuchekera apa, chisara uchirimawo apa uchitawo zvako apa, isu totorawo apa topa vamwe. You see, that was so easy. Iwe chisara uchirima pako apa tochekerawo vamwe vorima. Kana anga ari 500 hectares, 1000 hectares, tomakata weta 500 hectares, 50 hectares. Topawo mamwe mafarmers anogona kurima. Kwete ungoti politician ajaira kumhanya, ari kumhanya everyday achingonoita maslogan. Hana time. Izvezvi chimbopatarisai schedule yava Mnangagwa muno muZimbabwe. This week vari uko, mangwana vari uko, mangwana vari uko, mangwana vari uko. Nevakomana vavo vanenge vachingomhanya vachingoita maslogan. Mucharima rini kumapurazi kwenyu? That is something which is very important to ask. Because haasi munhu wese anogona kuemploya vanhu nekumonita vanhu kuti vanga pane pamwe pari kutoda iwewo muridzi kuti unge uri hands on uripo. When are you going to do your things? We are in agriculture, we are farmers. We understand these things. Ukangobva pamba 2, 3, 4 months, unowana zvinhu zvadhakwa. It's because you are not there, you are not managing iwewe uri panzvimbo. Zvauri kuda sizvo zviri kuitika. So this is a problem which they created, and the people of Zimbabwe are now paying. Personally, I would want to see the beneficiaries of the Jambanja, which happened. Vachibhadhara ma-properties avakaluta. They have to pay. They have to pay. I hope and believe that one day the government will follow up on those bogus people vakanozvigadzika vabhadhare zvinhu zvavakaba pamapurazi ipapo. Because we can't have it kuti the government has to pay and then somebody akangobenefita mahara. If we are to argue, we'll argue on other forums, we are argue on other things about the legality in terms of land. But in terms of iwewe ndiwo watora, government ndiyo bhadhara, ipapo apa tinofanira kupesana. That is not proper. So this is Team Zimbabwe. ZANU PF itself, they are not in agreement. They are fighting each other because of this issue. 3.5 billion is going to be compensated to former white farmers. Cherungunetsa ndechekuti zvinhu zvacho zvaiva pamapurazi zvakabiwa nevakuru muZANU PF. Vachadzosa here? That is the major question which we have. And this is the point of controversy. A lot of young people do not agree with these issues. And we will see where we are going. We'll see what is going to happen next. Thank you very much, everybody.